marketing lessons to digest from the god-awful rebranding of Jaguar. So, the number one thing is that mistakes makes you stronger. Jaguar after the rebrand, exactly what I'm saying. They're like Saitama and shit, dude, because the awful mistake that they made like a couple months back. So, how do we get started? Firstly, number one lesson: understand your market. Like literally understand your market. This is the most important thing you can do as a company. Second, what does that exactly mean? That adaptation to the modern world does not mean that you're going to abandon your existing customers. Like just a car guy who destroyed his damn company. Exactly like this meme. Next is changing your identity so drastically that your existing customers are embarrassed to be associated with you. If you check social media at that point of time, you would know exactly what I'm talking about. Jaguar went from like a really good company to like a woke bullshit. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So here, this meme is like a complete representation of that. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the car design for the average okay. Exactly. What is next? Okay. All of this, whatever the hell they did, this counts as brand suicide. And I'm not going to say all that, but you understand what I'm saying. Again, what happens when you fail to understand your market? Now, there are a couple of things that can happen. You can lose your current customers, you can lose your potential customers, and you can destroy the legacy of your brand that has been built since decades, since a century, whatever. And because all of that is happening, as a conclusion to that, your stock price is also declining. There are unhappy shareholders inside of a company, and it's overall something that you do not want to happen as a business owner. Alright? Okay, let's move forward from that. I don't know what was that, but yes, they actually would have a rebuttal to whatever I'm saying. Oh, but the existing sales of Jaguar were zero. The old and the rich didn't want to buy from us anyway, so it was a good decision. Now there are two ways to look at this, and two ways to analyze this. What did Jaguar do, and what Jaguar should have done instead? So now that we're moving into it, first we'll see the status quo. What did Jaguar do in the first place? We're going to see that, okay, they abandoned their existing market. They gave abandonment issues to their existing current demographic of market. Now, what happens when you do this? What happens when you abandon your market? What happens when you leave your customers hanging and just change who you are as a company? And you just don't relate to your current customer anymore. You anger your current customer. You anger your existing customer. They will never ever damn buy from you again. And they'll be like, Karens are, where the fucking manager? All that stuff. They headed over to a niche where the chance of succeeding is like even lower. And I'll tell you exactly why right now. So why is the chance of success lower in this new woke niche? So again, Jaguar's new ICP, Ideal Client Profile, is like the woke crowd. What are the woke crowd known to do? Like, just off the top of your head, what can you think about the woke crowd even doing? They're known to boycott shit for absolutely no reason. They're anti-capitalistic, they're man-hating Kamala supporters, most of them are vegans, they're for low brain development, which makes their ability to earn even low, and their ability to spend on, sports car even lower. So that's kind of it. And the 1% of woke crowd, yeah, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. The 1% of woke crowd that is smart enough to buy your product, even if they exist in the first place, because being gay and smart is extremely lonely and an isolating experience. I'm not being homophobic, I'm just joking, of course. And other than that, I'm going to tell you why it's going to be so problematic for even the woke people. And the ones that are smart enough to do background checks about you, like the 1% who's rich and smart enough, they're going to see that at one point of time you used to make ads like for men who like handjobs on a beautiful woman they hardly know, to this shit. Again, they would probably launch boycott campaigns against you for being misogynistic and being against the female gender in the past, and probably put allegations against you like objectification of women, because that's what they're known to do. That's exactly what's going to happen. It's probably not happened yet, but it might happen when you actually start selling cars, like not selling cars, you just like did rebranding for God knows what reason. What is the impact of this? What is the impact of all of this to Jaguar, the car company? Are they even a car company? I don't fucking know. Jaguar is now stuck inside of a limbo. Yep, a limbo. That state from Naruto. I don't know what I'm talking about. But they can't fall back to past clients because they've already lost their trust. And guess what? They can't go to new clients either because their new clients don't trust them because of their own past. So what the fuck is this, man? Like, what did you do, Jaguar? Again, so what can Jaguar do to get out of this limbo? Now, this is going to sound extremely stupid and it's just a joke, so take it as a joke. They can turn this into a strategic PR campaign. Absolutely, like, make it propaganda-ish. That, okay, the purpose of this campaign would be to, like, effectively utilize the importance of the legacy of Jaguar. People hate it right now for what it has become. Thus, out of comparison, they would probably love the old Jaguar. You know what I'm talking about. So, why do this? Perhaps you appear as not as stupid. Because the world probably perceives you as very stupid right now. At least I do. And it is probably like an easy gateway to run away from your consequences. Because, that kind of also matches your new demographic. They're the kind of people to do that. Okay. Other thing, what did they do? They hired a woke marketing agency. Of course they did. And what did that marketing agency do? They focus on vanity metrics like views, likes, engagements, controversy, social capital. Social capital is an important metric, just to be sure here. But they also fucked that up. They fucked that up so bad that they have zero social capital at this point of time. Now, to give you an idea of what social capital is, it's like a currency that, okay, what is this brand's value in terms of attention in today's world? And theirs is in negative right now, genuinely. What is the result of this? The impact of this, the result of this, you had to give like probably like a 500k paycheck. What did it lead to? Zero tangible results. And the third thing, the only thing you paid for was a brand identity design. Now you have an unclear brand identity. And when you look at this, like genuinely from a common sense perspective, can you tell that this is a car brand? Absolutely not. What the fuck are these curvy fonts, man? Like, I don't understand, man. Like, what the hell is this? And again, this code right here, it just sums it up really well. From selling sexy cars to selling sex toys to people that identify as Mars beings. There's even a tweet of Elon Musk on that. Oh, so it was like, yeah, the status quo is pretty much fucked. So, okay. Now, this is again from a very parody and an educational perspective. But what should have Jaguar done instead? Number one, Jaguar should have probably capitalized on their existing niche. Now, why should they have capitalized on their existing niche? Because simple logical facts here, the people here would have trusted you better. They would have had a higher likelihood of people buying from them because these people know you better. What they could have done. And when the probably isn't 100%, yeah, you're just playing on probability here. Okay, you have an existing authority of being like a 100+ year old car brand. So instead of like just completely pivoting out of nowhere, you should have maybe try to understand what these people want and try to get into their minds of what they actually want. This is extremely important when your product is failing, when your product is not working out. What you should do instead is probably like go and understand your clients better, go and understand the current demographic better. Maybe there's something wrong that you're doing. Maybe try getting a little bit humble here, and you don't need to prove to them that you make good cars. Everybody knows that you do make good cars. You just need to do probably something a little more innovative than you were currently doing. Yep. Okay. Now, something else that they could have done, like something a little different from like the average advice you're going to get. And this is going to be applicable to a lot of different niches, whether it's B2C, B2B, whatever the hell you're doing. Okay. So, what you can do in such a situation where your market is not currently buying from you, they have a problem for you, is that you should find like unexplored segment in the same damn demographic. For example, the new age of Gen Z entrepreneurs, which are making it big, like the people in e-commerce, I don't know, agency owners, and God knows who, which are being rich from the new internet money, the attention money area. You should make them your demographic. They're like the future market, the future rich that are going to be there in like the next 5 years, the next 10 years. They are a future market with a lot of potential. And why is that? Because instead of being stuck with like poor vegans who don't have the money to buy a product, who are never going to buy a product and probably going to like suck up your brand by protesting against you, you should target the new rich. You should understand the new rich. You should understand their pains, their likes, their desires. Because if you make it appear for them to buy, if you make your whole brand very appealing for them, it's going to work out for you. You're going to earn a lot of money through it. And maybe you should like try using your brain for once here. Okay, yep. Also, simply try communicating with existing customers. Mega data collection of existing customers and get like their psychographic profiles and stuff. You know the stats. I know the stats. I'm not going to delve deep into the stats, but you know what to do with the stats. So use your stats properly. That's what I'm going to be saying. Better understood customers, more sales. There's nothing more to say here. Okay, what else they could have done? You could have made better fucking cars, man. Just make better fucking cars. And now you're going to ask me, why make better cars when you're already making money? Firstly, you're not. And secondly, why should you make better cars? Firstly, it will improve your product. Second, it would lead to market differentiation. Third, like innovation. And innovation leads to novelty. And why is novelty important? You know why novelty is important. People have a low attention span. And when people have a low attention span and you're getting that attention from the very right people that you want that attention from, then you get more money. And when you're getting more money, you're making more profit. And when you're making more profit, you lead to a higher stock price and your shareholders are happy. You know how this goes. And probably something really important that a lot of agency owners should try to understand, that when you have a niche problem, you shouldn't hire a general purpose agency. You should hire a niche focused marketing agency. Now, why am I talking about a niche focused marketing agency? Firstly, niche focused marketing agency know exactly what they're doing inside of the niche because they're like nerding out inside one specific topic, and you're going to lead to personalized industry focused growth. And they would have gotten their work done from people who actually understood cars if they had done it right. And what would be the impact of this? Impact of this would be that they would make ads that would not get awards inside of like ceremonies. They would be AdWords that would actually sell and not just get engagement for the sake of getting engagement. So therefore, higher ROI, more sales. That's exactly what you would have wanted. I don't know what you're doing. Random meme. Again, what is an opportunity? Again, you cannot do it now. It's been very long. But if you're like thinking about it from a critical perspective, or somebody who's like watching this video for knowledge purposes, then if you were in this scenario, a hypothetical car company, a hypothetical car digital marketing agency, what you could have done here? There's a market gap here. Something that was messed up. Jaguar has an issue. Their current brand was like fucking up. So if you were like a luxury focused car marketing PR agency, whatever, and you had enough connections inside of the industry, then you could have done something crazy. You can ask for big bucks. You could have asked for big bucks at that point of time to mitigate this channel. It was like a complete no-brainer. Now, why would it be like a complete no-brainer, you may ask? Well, simple. Solving a huge pain point that is prevailing in the status quo for Jaguar, which is like, I don't know, solving pain points at the right time, positioned in the right way, which will lead to a shit ton of money. And that's just common sense. Now, how would you have done it? It's very simple actually. All you had to do was not like probably do a very good job, but you just got to do a better job than the gay dudes who lived in an NYC apartment with their husband, blah, blah, blah. Also made advertisements for Bud Light apparently. Just make it better than them, man. It's not a very hard job to do. Like, just do it. That's kind of it. Again, we're going to be talking about takeaways right now. Alright. So on the topic of takeaways, what are the major takeaways here? Number one, engagement is not equals to cash. If you're like a business owner that's chasing virality and eyeballs, then you're doing the exact opposite to what you should be doing. First is from normies who will never buy from you. Like if you're chasing virality from normies who will absolutely never buy from you, you're going to just feel good about the content that you're making. And what is the outcome of that? The outcome of that is something I like to call the Andrew Tate effect. What exactly ends up taking place is that you get a lot of views, you get a lot of controversy views, you get a lot of B2C views, so views that you do not actually want. And what that leads to is you lose trust. You lose trust because you're doing stupid things on your Instagram. Business owners don't watch you, random consumers watch you, and they will never buy your high ticket product or even a low ticket product, to be honest. That is a brand suicide. We all know what a brand suicide looks like, Jaguar. And then that's just time to go back to your 9 to 5, and instead of a Jaguar, you'll probably be asking what color is your Toyota. Again, what is the second metric? The one who understands the market can sell the best. Absolutely. You understand your ICP, you understand what your customer does, you understand like each and every single detail about your customer's day. You understand each and every single detail about your customer's day, you can sell the best. And always make it a ground rule to validate your ICP pain points, and you should solve their pain points. If you don't, somebody else will do it faster and better than you could ever do it. Alright, that's like a facts. So what's the conclusion? How do you build authority and trust extremely fast and make a shit ton of money with it? So to build authority and fast, you need to leverage something I like to call the social capital economy. You should have people coming towards you and not go towards people yourself, because that's like the leverage you want. That's like the authority that you want to establish. So make a lot of content here. And the main like fundamentals of that is the bigger the problems you solve of the affluent and the rich, the more money you're going to make in terms of the social capital. And you're going to get like social credit for that, which is testimonials from like big people, and other big people are going to be more inclined to work with you because of those testimonials. Again, testimonials is equals to authority. Absolutely. How do you build trust? How do you build trust so that you don't fall like this guy right here? So again, like let's just think from a common man perspective, average perspective. You trust someone who is valuable to you in your life emotionally, physically, and the basis of the impact they have inside of your life. What does this exactly mean? You trust someone who is emotionally available to you, who is probably validating your feelings. This isn't like probably in perspective of your relationship, but in terms of even like a service-based business, in terms of somebody who's providing a service. If you are providing an impact inside of another person's life, inside of another person's business, inside of another person's like even a consumer, if you're selling a B2C product, then you're somebody they can actually trust. And When you become somebody they can trust, you're not being perceived as another scammer. And not being perceived as another scammer is the biggest thing you can do inside of this age of oversaturation. Again, unconditional value, like this is the principle that you should follow from my end. Unconditional value leads to huge trust gains, and as you can understand, huge trust gains leads to a lot of big dollars. Now, why is that? All of this is because of like a simple principle of reciprocity. It's from like this book called Edward Barnes' Propaganda that I read earlier on. Principle of reciprocity. When you give some value to another person, they're more likely to trust you. They're more obligated to do something in return. Just take it as an example. When you're at the supermarket and you try like those free sample things, you feel a little guilty that, okay, maybe I should buy this from you. That's exactly the effect that you got to replicate with your content, with your ads or whatever that you do. So how and where can you provide this value? And because this is important, if you're providing value and you're providing it on the wrong platform, then you're doing the absolute worst thing that you can ever do. So you got to leverage like a personal brand to do this, which is to educate, to reach your target demographic, and to solve their problems. You must create a personal brand. I have spoken. Exactly this meme. I don't like really remember what movie this was from, but it was pretty cool. It was a good movie. So which platform is the best to do this? YouTube long form, hands down, man. Like I do it on YouTube right now. The video you're watching, I'm doing the exact same process, and you should do it on YouTube. Now, why is that? People come on YouTube to solve problems. They don't come there to waste their time. At least I'm talking about like the 80% majority of the demographic, while other platforms like Instagram are there to meant to like waste your time. Thus, quality of the audience on YouTube is so much better. On Instagram, here's what you find. Bro done Phantom taxes food. This is like the average Instagram audience. Now that we're done with the takeaways of this video, if you're a business owner who's interested in like probably increasing their client acquisition by having YouTube introduced in their current ways, then you can consider booking a call from a link in the description. I fumbled, I don't know why. But that was a great video. I hope you liked it. If you liked it, you can subscribe. Even if you don't want to book a call with me, you can consider subscribing and probably like doing more of my content. That would be great. Thank you so much.